Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Conservative talk without apology. The Regular Joe Show with Joe Gigante. Weekday evenings at 9 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 mobile app. It's time for Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. Talk of the Town brought to you by Big Boy. Just get in line. It moves fast. Dakota Pharmacy and Dakota Natural Health Center. We're here to help you stay well. Trademark Realty, Peak Automotive and Service, and Silver Ranch.
You're tuned to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. Good Tuesday morning leading up to Thanksgiving this week. Don't forget Turkey Trot. We'll check in with them coming up a little bit later on this morning as well. And you can sign up for Turkey Trot at any time. Of course, a Thanksgiving tradition here in the Bismarck Mandan area as well on Thanksgiving morning. Marlo Anderson and I apologize. I'm trying to get some other stuff done. So I'm just going to let you roll this segment because you've got some exciting news in the car sector.
It couldn't be more fascinating as it is right now. You have this kind of war going on between internal combustion engines and EVs or electric vehicles. And EVs have been touted as kind of the savior of the world, right? It's going to save us from man-made climate change. And I don't know where you sit on the climate change issue, but we're not really going to talk about that too much today. It just seems like, politically that's where we're headed. So as a result of that, we have all these mandates coming down and some states are more than others. Germany, for example, has a mandate that, all vehicles, moving forward, I forget what year it is, but they all have to be EVs. California is kind of in the same space where they're mandating more and more electric vehicles. And I don't know about you, but if you've rented an electric vehicle, tried to go get it charged, I've had absolute horror stories when it comes to getting my car fueled up with electricity, right? So it's been really challenging for me. And I just seen some footage out of San Diego. Some of you probably have seen this as well, where this person was just driving along. I think was going to get, I don't think they had an EV. That's right. They were just taking a video of this. There was like 4 or 6 charging stations, and this is 11 o'clock at night. And the line to charge cars was wrapped around the block. And fortunately, they were kind of in order, but you're not in a line to charge up your car unless you need to go home or wherever you're headed to. So you're stuck. You have no choice but to sit there and wait until you can get a spot to charge. And these things, you just don't charge them in 5 minutes. It takes 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes. The last one I had took 2 hours to charge. And people who are waiting behind that are waiting. It's just as simple as that. I can't imagine how long it took for those people to get their cars charged that were sitting in line there. So anyway, a lot of challenges with the EVs, and it's just that the infrastructure isn't there to handle the demand that's been kind of forced on people. I like EVs. I love the performance of them. So I'm not against the technology. It's just, you think about electricity isn't magic fairy dust. It has to come from someplace. And so I don't think, you're saving maybe a little bit there in CO2 emissions, but not a lot. And then when you factor in the kind of mining that has to go on for lithium batteries or for lithium to make the batteries, there's a lot there too. And these cars are heavy. They're very heavy. These are big batteries that you're sitting on. And then they've had some challenges as far as if they're in an accident or whatever. They tend to catch fire a little quicker. Our first responders are having some challenges with those as well. And I'm sure all of these things will get worked out. So I have the utmost trust in those people to get these things worked out. But, maybe there's just a better way, right? And that's really what this is about, at least for me today, is a technology that is old. It's not horses, by the way. Although I'm sure some of you were probably thinking that, and maybe that's not such a bad way to go, right? Feed them some grass, they can take you someplace. But it's compressed air. And Jeep Stellantis, I believe Stellantis is the name of the company that has Jeep, has actually just a few days ago made a startling, I don't know if it's not a prediction. They're working on this. So, but made a startling statement, I guess you could say, that they're working on an compressed air vehicle. And I guess they're pretty close with this. And they're going to put it in Jeeps. And they're claiming that you use conventional fuel, so you'll fill up with gasoline, and you'll get up to 120 miles a gallon. 120 miles a gallon. And on top of that, they have figured out some other ways that you can reduce the emissions of CO2 while burning gasoline in these. But, even at 120 miles a gallon, if the average vehicle out there right now is getting 20 to 25 miles a gallon, that's a 5 to 6x change in the amount of fuel that you're going to use to run around town or take trips or whatever. The cool thing is that if you're in town, you can run on strictly air. You can actually, if you have an air compressor at home, you can actually fill up the tank that way. The engine that's in the car, when it runs, it's running an air compressor to fill up the tank with air. So it's not driving all the other stuff that has to go along with it, right? So it's very, very clever. And I believe that we're on the cusp of some amazing technologies that just seem really simple. And I love that. Absolutely love that. I've been in a lot of autonomous vehicles, most of them electric, some gas-powered or fuel-powered. But most of those are electric. I was in a couple of natural gas a couple years ago. I thought that was interesting as well. I was even in a solar car one time. And that, for me, as some of you who know who I am, I'm not a small guy. I'm a little tall. I could probably play football at some time in my life. But, to fit into a solar car, which is really, those things are really made for more of a person that's more like a disc jockey size, or disc jockey, I should say. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I got disc jockey in my head now, but some of you who races horses, right? So maybe, is that a disc jockey? That doesn't seem right to me. I feel like that's more on the, spinning record side. So anyway, that's more of a DJ, right? So, horse jockey maybe. Tired. And again, I apologize to everybody. I'm actually in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee right now. And, the place is lighting up for Christmas. It's absolutely beautiful here with the Smoky Mountains, having a good time, visiting with a lot of people, a lot of conversations on tech as I've been here as well. And, but, and then on top of this, so we have that, right? You have this big debate about not hydrogen, but the big debate between combustion engines and EVs, and hydrogen is starting to get put into this mix a little bit too. But you have that going on. You got Jeep coming out now with a potential compressed air vehicle. I couldn't be more excited about that, by the way. And then, of course, there is the flying car. So the flying car, a company here in the United States called A-Leaf, I believe. I'm kind of looking it up right now. And this particular car, Alef, A-L-E-F, so maybe it's Alef, but Alef Aeronautics, it's a startup in California, and they received their special airworthiness certificate for its Model A flying car. So what makes this flying car unique is that it's kind of looks like a car. It does drive on the roads at up to 25 miles an hour, and then you can fly it. Now, I was trying to dig into whether or not you needed to have a pilot's license, because the two flying cars that I've been in with EHang, those are actually, their plan with EHang is to actually be totally autonomous. So you can say, you can tell your car to take you to your favorite coffee shop, and it'll just fly you there, which is cool, right? So I'm not sure if the Alef is going to do that or not, but it's pretty cool. It's $300,000 for this vehicle. It's 25 miles per hour on the ground. They say that if you need to go faster than that, just take it airborne, and you can fly faster. So if you need to park it in a garage or something like that, you can drop it out of the sky someplace and then drive it into your garage or into a parking lot for better parking or whatever you want to do, right? So it's interesting. They're actually taking pre-orders for this right now. I think they have about 400 pre-orders. You can put $150 down on this to be in the queue. If you want priority, then you put $1,500 down on this. And I believe it's a refundable scenario if you decide that you don't want to do this sometime in the future. So anyway, you could pre-order a flying car. What do you think about that? It's kind of curious, isn't it? I wonder what kind of lease options you're going to have with these flying cars. Can I get one for $499 a month? I don't know. Maybe. I don't. What's the airworthiness of these things? Will you get? Is it going to be based on the number of hours of flight or on how many miles you drive? These are all things that are going to be curious to find out, because, a lawnmower, for example, or a tractor, I should say, a lot of times those are just based on the amount of hours that they have on them. When we talk about our vehicles, we always talk about how many miles we've traveled, and that seems to be the measure that we use on those. So anyway, just all kinds of great news going on right now in the automotive industry, and I am so excited to hear about the compressed air vehicle by Jeep, and I can't wait. And my guess is that this is going to be a huge topic at CES in the beginning of January. So I can't wait to get there and check out what Jeep has in store for us in the future. It's very exciting.
Compressed air is cool, and the range actually way better than electric vehicles. So it's cool stuff, Marlo. You're tuned to the Tech Ranch on a Tech Tuesday on Super Talk 1270's Talk of the Town. I'm Steve Bach, along with Marlo Anderson, our guru of geek, on Super Talk 1270.
Super Talk.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
You're tuned to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bach, along with Marlo Anderson, our guru of geek, on Super Talk 1270 on a Tech Tuesday.
I'm going to put this under the category of you think you've seen everything. So this is quite extraordinary. This launched just a few days ago by Humane, Humane. They call it an AI pen. So the pen is a square, I'm going to say about 1.5 to 2 inches square, with a magnetic back that you can attach to clothing or to other things for that matter, but clothing is what it's designed for. It's a wearable. And it's supposed to take the place of your smartphone. Has a camera on it, has a microphone, persona speaker, I believe is what they call it. It has Bluetooth capability, so you can just sync it to your Bluetooth headset, and that's it. If you need to see something, it has a laser beam that's a green emitting laser beam that basically will draw onto things. So, for example, if you have a text coming in from somebody, you just put your hand in front of it and it will project on your hand what the text is. So no screen. There's no screen at all. This is totally text or speech voice driven. I'm not really sure what I think about this. It is certainly intriguing. And I think I like it. I'm not a big screen person anyway. And of course, there's a lot of people are going to look at this and say, are you kidding me? I need a screen. How am I supposed to play a game or, record video properly, even though this does have a camera built into it. And it will record. I mean, you can record your life events because you have a camera that you wear, but you won't be able to aim it very well. And there's, many, many apps. I'm guessing, and I shouldn't be saying that, I guess, but I would have to imagine that GPS is built into this, all of your standard phone features. Oh, and this is where it really gets interesting. So the device is going to cost $699, and it's already available. It's already out. I don't know if you can run down to your local T-Mobile. I believe that's who you're going to be able to get it through. But you go down there. The plan is $24 a month for a cell phone service plan. That's pretty incredible when you think about that. So if you're looking for a low-cost way to have a cell phone and you basically are using like a Bluetooth headset to talk to people already, or just leave it in speaker mode, I see more and more of that as well. This is very interesting, and you could significantly lower your monthly phone bill with this device. And it might be more practical to you, but again, it doesn't come with a screen. This is a pin. They call it an AI pin for a reason. It's something that you wear. You could put it on your ball cap if you wanted to. The other thing that's really intriguing about this is that magnet that goes on the back. So it's hot swappable, and it's a power pack. So what that means is at any given time, let's say the power is running low, you just change that magnet out and the AI pin is ready to go again. So they must have some internal battery power. Maybe it runs for 5 or 10 minutes without having that battery pack, the magnet attached to it. But, the fact that you can just switch those things out at any given time without having to really charge up the device, so to speak, intriguing as well, isn't it? So lots of cool things with this. The AI pin by Humane, it's going to be something that is probably revolutionary, and I see a lot of people, and myself included, because I got to tell you, I really do get tired of the screen. I would rather, if it's just easy to talk to something, I would do that. It's got a built-in translator too, by the way, so you can set it to Japanese or to German or whatever. Put your earpiece in. You'll be able to, somebody speaking German to you, it'll translate it into your ear that way, and then the speaker on the AI pin, when you talk, will transmit that back out in German. So that in itself is going to be a very, very big deal. The fact that you can travel and I shouldn't even say travel. I mean, we live in a world nowadays that the next person you encounter may or may not speak the language you speak, right? This is a game changer in that regard. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I didn't get into the flying car stuff as much as I wanted to the last segment, and I'll finish up with that. The flying car, in my opinion, is also a game changer. And the fact that all of these technologies are seeming to just come out one after the other is incredible. The flying car when it becomes more readily available, and by the way, some of these flying cars that they're talking about, I mean, these things, you're talking the less than the price of a regular car right now that you drive on the road. Not all of them are that way. I mean, the one that from A-Leaf is $300,000, but that is actually a roadworthy car as well. Most of the flying cars don't have wheels on them. For example, you can't drive them on the ground, so they're not really a car in the practical sense. But it's still deemed a flying car because it's for, one person, two people, maybe a family to travel around in the air. So it's your form of transportation, so to speak, right? But some of those vehicles, I mean, they talk in that $15,000 to $20,000 range, which is incredibly reasonable in today's world of automobiles. So keep an eye open for that too. I think you're going to see that technology, that type of vehicle, become more and more prevalent in the next year or two. I actually see the day in the very, very near future where you go to the dealership, where you buy a car, and you're basically going to have three choices, and then sub-choices from that, because then it depends on the powertrain and type of engine that you're going to have in these things. How does it get someplace? But you're going to have three choices. You're going to have the traditional car that we drive right now. You'll have a fully autonomous vehicle, and that autonomous vehicle, that self-driving vehicle, by the way, may not even have a steering wheel in it. There are now vehicles being tested that do not have steering wheels, no gas pedals, no nothing, which makes the user experience inside the car more practical because there's more room. You don't need to have that dashboard. You don't need to have all this stuff. The front seats are rear turning, meaning that you can turn around and talk to the people in the back and you're facing them as the car's moving down the road. So there's all kinds of options. The windshield in your vehicle becomes a projections or a screen where a projector can project stuff on there. So you can have larger than life. You can watch a movie while you're driving down the road in these things. You can have a great conference call with family and friends while you're driving down the road and see them because the screen or your windshield is the screen. So just all kinds of great uses for the car. So you'll have the autonomous vehicle, you'll have the regular vehicle that you have, and of course, your third choice when you go to a dealership in the future is going to be the flying car. So you're going to have all three of those, and then you'll have to pick between if you want gas-powered and electric-powered vehicle, probably hydrogen, and of course, the one that we were just talking about in the last break here, or before the last break, is the air-powered vehicle. So cool. So cool.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Talk lineup is on Super Talk 1270. Check out the program schedule at supertalk1270.com and on the free Super Talk 1270 app. Talk of the Town, brought to you by Big Boy. Just get in line. It moves fast. Dakota Pharmacy and Dakota Natural Health Center. We're here to help you stay well. Trademark Realty, Peak Automotive and Service, and Silver Ranch. Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
So you're going to love this. Oh, by the way, welcome.
Thank you.
I did two parts of the show now without you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week I waited on you.
I know.
You waited on me.
It's a good thing about having us kind of.
We just kind of throw crap together and see what sticks to the studio walls.
So,
yeah.
Thank goodness the walls are Teflon.
They are.
Yeah. It just falls off. Hey, okay. So Google Witness accidentally blurts out that Apple gets 36% cut of Safari. No.
What?
All right, I'll just read on a little bit more, and then we'll really talk about this. So this is the monopoly suit, the antitrust suit, whatever you want to call it,
right,
against Google right now, right? So Google pays Apple 36% of its search engine or of its search advertising revenue from Safari to keep its search engine set as the default on Apple machines. So Safari is on as the web browser, right? And Google actually pays Apple 36% of the revenue that it generates from that. So all the ads that you see when you do a search on Google or whatever through Safari, Google pays 36% of that revenue. So every time I pay $1 to advertise for people to buy a National Day wall calendar from me, if it's seen on a Safari browser on an Apple machine, 36 cents of that goes to Apple.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
It's worth tens of billions of dollars every year.
So the conspiracy theory people, in this case, actually the government, might be right?
Well, okay, sure. But why is that not okay? I'm trying to figure that out. If somebody were to, and I'm just throwing that out here, and I'm, picking on around our studio here, right? If somebody wanted to hang a sign on the door that said
Yarbo.
Yeah, Yarbo, right? Yarbo wanted to pay us or to be on this program. That is okay, right?
Absolutely.
What are you drinking, by the way?
Diet Coke.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
I've known you for how many years? I've never seen you hear or utter the words Diet Coke before.
Well,
because you usually chai tea.
Well, or I usually have that big jug of water.
Yes.
And is
that the only thing that was left in our fridge, and that's why you drink it?
Kinda.
I didn't even know there was a Diet Coke back there.
Yeah.
If there was, I would have had it earlier. That's
funny. You lose.
That's funny. Yeah, so what is that?
See, I think of it in terms of, okay, so monopoly. I think of it in terms of Ma Bell, and then when they broke them up into the Baby Bell.
Right.
So the thought process is one company, too big, gets to manipulate the market, and if you're paying, okay, this goes back, tell me if I'm wrong, this goes back to, is the internet open or closed? Is the internet non-territorial? Is it supposed to be equal and accessible for everybody? Or
it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. Or, hey, we're going to pay you to get our message across.
So you could make that argument that nobody else could potentially pay Apple 30% of revenue at a level that Google is paying, right?
Yeah, but for the access to the Apple devices, 37% is probably pretty nice profit as well, right?
Right.
So if another browser wanted to come in and go say, it's worth it to me to be able to monetize because of what access to that platform, guess what? I'm making money.
But this is the thing. So it goes back kind of to what you're thinking about. Google's so big, who can match that? I mean, I could come in from National Day Calendar or the Tech Ranch, whatever it is, right, and tell Apple, we'll pay you 50%.
You got $50 billion? Because it's about what it would cost.
Well, that's the point I'm getting to, right? It doesn't matter because I can't match the 36% that Google is paying Apple. So
yeah, but you're not paying it up front.
Yeah, but they already know. You can't tell me that they don't know how much.
Here's 36% of what we potentially will make.
Right.
Okay, here's 50% of what we'll put.
But they have an idea already of how much you're going to make. I mean,
they're going to know about how much it's you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, yeah, so it is interesting. I don't know. Okay, Google pays a total of $26 billion for its default contracts. $26 billion.
Pocket change.
This is the other thing about this, though. And it would be interesting to see, although I don't think this is the case, but it would be interesting to see if Apple already knows that they're going to make this much money because of every device that they make an extra $1,000 because of advertising revenue that it gets from Google and other sources, right? So does that drive the cost of the device down? I don't know if that's the case on Apple, but I know it's the case on PCs.
Yeah. So, again, question then, because you see, let's talk just about phones. So you're going to have it on an Apple phone, iPhone.
Right, that's correct.
You see these promotions with the carriers, whether it's AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. Hey, we get to give away phones. It's like, sign up, new number, we'll give you the phone. And that comes around every so often. Otherwise, you're paying $1,000, $1,200 for a phone.
Right.
What gives them the ability to go, okay, hey, this month we're going to give away phones?
So it's a combination of a bunch of things. So, I mean, a lot of times it's not the newest phone, but it seems to be getting the newer phone all the time, right?
Excess inventory of the last one because there's a new one coming out.
Right. So you have that going on.
It's still a new phone.
But there's a lot of people.
Way better than my wife's.
Oh, I'm sure.
iPhone 6
I'm sure.
or 7, I think she's. I just want the new phone, Marlo. This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Smart. Super. Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
You're tuned to Tech Ranch. I'm Steve Buckle and Marlo Anderson. Talking about new phones. How does this new phone thing work?
Manufacture that computer to have that software on there, because a lot of it is, good for a year. They know that the virus protection you're getting on the machine, for example, most people don't go out and shop for a new virus protection program. They'll just renew that one after the first year, and they know that 70% of the people who have this will do that, right? So it's worth so many dollars for them to have that on that machine so that they're able to get that income from it. So, and that does actually go into factoring how much that computer costs and how much they'll retail it for. And the same, I would imagine, is true with phones, that you have this going on, that there's a certain value to an Apple that when you own a phone and you're going to own the phone for, let's say it's an average of 3 years, that you're going to make this amount of money every time you open up a Safari browser, right? Or, and then you let's say it makes a penny every time that you open it up, and 36% of that goes right back to Apple again.
So when you get a new phone or do you get a new computer, what's the first thing you do? Do you go through and take off all the excess crap that you don't need?
It's almost impossible to do that.
It's almost impossible to do that.
I tried to do that on the phone that I have right now. I was sitting on the airplane the other night, and I'm going through there, and I'm like, I don't want this on here because it's my phone is so cluttered right now. I figured I'd clean it up. It's something to do when you're in the air, right? And I tried. It would not allow me to remove some of the stuff, which is why a lot of people will add their own. There's a way that you can actually, take what they have on there off there and put it back on. And then a lot of people brick their phones because of that, meaning that they don't work anymore. But if you know what you're doing, you can actually, reprogram your phone, so it doesn't have all the AT&T or Verizon stuff that they put on there. But that's the reason for it, by the way.
Yeah, the first thing I try to do is get stuff off. It's like, what do I not need?
It's unbelievable what comes on the phone.
And with the phones, you can't, but because there's so many things that work on different operating systems that they're interconnected.
Yeah.
And you're like, if I take that off, then what's not going to work? And the phone itself might not work. With computers, it's almost easier if you've got your own, say, Windows 11. Wipe the computer.
That's true.
Buy the new computer, wipe it, and then reinstall your operating system.
You can do that with phones, though,
it's not as easy.
It's not as easy. And the reason for it,
It's above my pay grade.
I think the reason that it's just easier on computers is simply because there are ways to input data, right? Like a drive. You could still have a disk drive, or a DVD drive or a CD drive, whatever you have on your computer. And you also have USB ports, so you can put a flash drive on there and basically load your software from there. On a phone, it just seems a little more difficult, but most phones now have a USB-C port, so you can utilize that to actually or program or plug it into a PC or an Apple. I'm sure. As I'm thinking about it, I don't know how. I used to do this with Droids all the time. I don't know how easy it is with Apple to actually reprogram them.
I'm an Android guy. Everything's easier with an Android, at least for me. I will crash an Apple, Marlo. This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bachman. When we come back, more with the Tech Ranch on this Tech Tuesday on Super Talk 1270.
KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union Studio.
The Todd Starnes Daily Update. Weekday mornings at 11:30 on Super Talk 1270 and the free Super Talk 1270 app. Talk of the Town, brought to you by Big Boy. Just get in line. It moves fast. Dakota Pharmacy and Dakota Natural Health Center. We're here to help you stay well. Trademark Realty, Peak Automotive and Service, and Silver Ranch. Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
You're tuned to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bachman with Marlo Anderson, our guru of geek on this Tech Tuesday. And, programming phones. I know you can do that, but you just buy a new phone.
As I'm thinking about it, I don't know how. I used to do this with Droids all the time. I don't know how easy it is with Apple to actually reprogram them. Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, Apple really locks it down. One of the reasons I like Android is because I have some flexibility with it. So
it almost works like your computer, and you can put things on that you want.
Or as a developer, I can do things to it. I can't do that with Apple.
Apple products, you're locked into what they want you to have.
All the testing that I do on the developer side with Apple is always on a simulator. So that's interesting. But anyway.
You should work on the golf simulator a little bit better. Maybe your game would get better.
If I just played more, the game would get better, right?
That would be true, too.
And I would rather do that. I'm out for the walk usually when I'm golfing.
I never take a cart.
I never take a cart unless I'm forced to.
If I'm in a tournament or something.
Yeah, you're forced to. And there's a couple golf courses you don't have a choice. But around where you and I live, I don't think there's any golf course that you can't walk, right?
Well, and most of the time, if I'm golfing with Wendy, my wife, I'm 9 holes. She'll only 9 holes.
Sure.
It's like, really?
Did any of our golf courses open back up around here since it got nice again?
I don't know. I should check on that.
You should check on that. We could sneak out because it's been nice enough again.
Yeah. I bet New Salem is.
Well, any of those.
100 system.
Yeah. Flasher would be too. I haven't played Flasher in a long time. But yeah, when it's 55 or 60 degrees outside, that's nice golfing weather. So anyway, that's what's new in the Google world. I know I talked a little earlier about flying cars, and there's more news since earlier in the program. Look at this, Joby
Velociraptor,
kind of close. VOLOCOPTR, Volocopter.
Velocicopter.
There's no copter. It's VLO. It's VOLO. Volocopter.
Volocopter.
You're adding one more.
Velociraptor.
Well, yeah, there we go. That's a good thing. Fly electric air taxis over New York.
Please.
Joby Aviation and Velociraptor performed brief demonstration flights of their electric aircraft in New York City over the weekend. New York Mayor Eric Adams wants to electrify 2 of the 3 heliports located in Manhattan. The city aims to reduce emissions by 80% from a 2005 baseline by 2025.
Wow.
I don't mean wow. I need to read that again. The city aims to reduce emissions by 80% from a 2005 baseline by 2025. Isn't that like 13 months from now?
Yeah. Okay, so
I was just in New York 2 weeks ago.
Again, wow, and I'm talking about the aggressive timeline on that. Which you're not going to have that aggressive timeline on something unless it's already there. It's ready to roll.
I don't even know how to answer that or even comment on that. Why would they even have that in this article?
Folks, you heard it here first.
Wow.
Marlo was speechless.
Joby's aiming to initially roll out a commercial service in New York and Los Angeles as part of the city-to-airport services deal with Delta Airlines. So this is what a lot of the flying car services in the future are going to be to airports. That's kind of the low-hanging fruit of where it starts, right? You can go to a place and park your car, hop into a fly to the airport thing, and then it'll just take you there that last 3 miles, that last 5 miles, whatever, because those are always the most congested anyway, right?
Right.
You know, you try to get into an airport and it just seems like you can sit there forever before you can get in there. So this will actually take some of the pressure off of this airport. And quite frankly, I'm sure like Delta, they're looking at this as a value add. Can we get another, $50 or $100 from a customer that would normally go to a taxi cab service or something? Now we can fly them into the airport and then they can have a better experience by doing that.
I'm all about better experiences. I truly am. This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bach along with Marlo Anderson, our guru of geek on Super Talk 1270.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
When's the last time you used ChatGPT?
Couple months.
Okay. So I used it a lot more? Okay, you just kind of wanted to learn a little bit about it, so you were in there and explored. Okay.
I was in the exploratory phase.
Did you do anything significant while you were exploring in there, or did you just want to check it out a little bit?
I just checked it out.
Okay.
Find significant.
Well, like you wrote an email.
World peace.
Yeah, any of that?
Yeah, I didn't do any of that.
Okay. So you're going to find this interesting, I think.
I was playing with actually writing some love letters to my wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I suck at that. Don't tell her. I hope she's not listening right now.
There are 100 people getting married next summer that are listening to us right now thinking, I can write my vows. And
yes.
Yes, you can.
And they're all guys.
That's exactly right, too. You're welcome, by the way.
Yes.
Gentlemen listening right now that are getting married next summer. So ChatGPT has been on fire lately. I mean, it's unbelievable. So it's like all this competition comes along, and they're like, okay, there's Bard, there's now Gork now from Elon Musk and Twitter or X. It's called Grok, Grok, inspired by the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Nice.
Has a little snarkiness, sarcasm to the answers and stuff like that. So
it was like when you and I talk. All right.
Yeah, exactly. It would be just like talking to Steve all the time now. That's great. What I want in my AI.
No snarkiness there. Are you real or are you AI?
Yeah, so so ChatGPT, there's 4. If you pay for it, which is like $20 a month, there's ChatGPT 4. I think you can use ChatGPT 4 for a free version too, but there's 3.5 too, which is pretty good, and they have the turbo version of that and stuff now. Within 4, so DALL-E, DALL-E, okay, came out just right before ChatGPT became public last December, okay? And that was a text to image, right? I could type in there, I would like a realistic person as a photograph sitting in front of a microphone running a radio talk show, okay? And it would create this for you. And then, the more information you give it, the better it gets, right? But it wasn't.
And make me taller, thinner, and better looking.
It wasn't really that good right away, right? And then 2 came out. I never even played with DALL-E 2. And now DALL-E 3 came out. And then just with a bang, it's been integrated into ChatGPT.
Well, and you spent all your time on ChatGPT.
I spend a lot of time in there. So I just typed in the other day to create a graphic. And I think, did I tell you about this? About the Northern Lights thing? So I talked about this a little earlier in the show when you weren't in. Did you see the Northern Lights picture I put up on my Facebook feed like 2 weeks ago?
I did.
Okay. Guess where that came from?
You made it up.
I did.
Well, that's not fair.
I typed in there that I wanted to have a Northern Lights scene captured from a rural area in North Dakota. And then I worked with a little bit more, saying put a couple of abandoned farm buildings in there, a pond, blah, blah, and some rolling hills. I kept adding to this until I'm like, oh my goodness, this thing looks, well, as you've seen, it looked incredible, right? And then I posted it up on
I wouldn't have known.
Facebook. And this was a test, Steve. It really was a test. And I put it up there, and of course, I don't know what was there? There were hundreds of comments in there about it. I mean, it's probably one of the most commented thing I've ever put up on Facebook since I put a picture up of Donica Patrick and myself, on there. That was probably my hottest one, of course, all the guys in my life.
She's truly that short, so.
Or I'm just truly that tall.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of a combination of both. I have this thing when I'm around people who are shorter than me, by the way. I tend to lean over a little bit, and I've decided lately I just can't. I do that in all my pictures. I need to stop doing that. I just don't want to feel like I'm gigantor over everybody else.
You're a big supporter of the lollipop deal.
Anyway, I have no response to that either. So I put this photo out there, and of course people are commenting. Some even commented, "Oh, it's like a painting," and people would personally DM me, and they're just like, "What kind of camera or what kind of phone do you have?
Is it live or is it memorized?"
So they were just asking. They didn't even ask me if it was real or not. They were asking me what kind of phone I was using to take those type of night pictures, which. I have a Samsung, and it does take incredible night pictures.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, I can be out in the middle of, I can't even see my hand in front of my face, but yet when I take a photo, it's the mountains. I just cannot get over that.
Have you been out, and I discovered this in Hawaii, we took a picture at night, and the background, I'm like, wait a minute. So I started playing with some of the pictures of some of the constellations, and holy crap you talk about great pictures of just the sky and space at night and stars.
I know.
I've never seen stars pop like that on a photo.
Well, and as you and I know,
a photo,
having
an AI photo,
as the back in the day when you took photos with a camera that you held, it was impossible to take pictures of the star or the moon or anything. I mean, it would just look like this big blur. The moon would just look blurry in the sky.
Very grainy, fuzzy.
The stars you could never get. I mean, there just wasn't enough light that you could, use to capture on film or whatever. Now it's like you just point and shoot and you have stars. Do you know? I don't think people even realize the significance of being able to do that, because people who grew up with this technology now are like, well, yeah, you just point and shoot, right? You just take the picture. That wasn't the way it was not that long ago. Anyway, I put this
way better than my 110 slide and click and shoot camera.
I think it took like 260 comments on this photo before somebody said, hey, that's AI.
How did they figure it out?
That I don't know. I just think they thought it was too good to be true, which it was. It was too good to be true. And I immediately, and I think they were just like, why are you pulling the wool over our eyes, Marlo? I mean, we trust you. Why are you doing this? And I immediately responded and said, ding, 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 congratulations. I wanted to see how many people we would go through that would just blindly believe anything that was put out there before somebody actually said something. And I know that people trust me, right? And that's the thing. But as somebody, I've had my stuff hacked before. I'm not, just because you and I are geeky, like maybe
you're
little
geekier,
but you know what I mean. I mean, this happens to everybody, and somebody could have taken over my account and done something a lot further worse or whatever than putting a picture out there of the Northern Lights. The experiment was, don't believe everything you see, because AI is easy,
and we haven't gotten into down the road far enough for the paradigm shift where people start questioning they see a picture on social media and just assume or take it for granted, don't think twice about, is it real or not?
Well, and we're kind of setting up for the next segment in our program here, because we're really going to dive into these deep fakes and what's about ready to come unleashed on us. So I think everybody has to kind of understand that mine was simple and easy to do, but I can do the same thing with, I don't like somebody's French fries. I don't like my competition.
Just in time for political season.
Ding, ding, ding. It's exactly where we're going to go on our next conversation, and you're not going to believe what we have to say about it.
Now you can...
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
1270 on Alexa.
Hiya.
Find out how at supertalk1270.com.
Goodbye.
Talk of the Town, brought to you by Big Boy. Just get in line. It moves fast. Dakota Pharmacy and Dakota Natural Health Center. We're here to help you stay well. Trademark Realty, Peak Automotive and Service, and Silver Ranch. Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
Let's see, in about a year, we will be wrapping up the presidential election. Well, let's hope.
Can't wait.
I mean, I guess the last couple times around, it's taken longer than election day to find out who the president was.
Yeah, careful. We have to add more ballots.
Or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Some states going to be contested or whatever, but we are entering the last year now of what I'm guessing will be another hotly contested presidential election, and I'm sure there's a lot of other congressional governorships, I mean, all over the country that are going to be really contested. And there's no doubt in my mind that artificial intelligence is going to be a significant problem with this.
So if you're looking at the impactfulness of a deep fake, because it's kind of what we're talking about here, the ability to go, hey, my candidate said something really stupid.
Or was seen with somebody, or sitting in the,
having
a meeting that they shouldn't
with
be.
their mistress.
Yeah, whatever it is, right?
They don't have a mistress, but, well, how do you know?
Yeah.
I do have a question about the impactfulness when we get there. So,
okay,
I'll bring that up in a few moments.
So all the major social media platforms, search engines, whatever, are coming out with solutions to try to work with this, right? So Facebook has where if you're putting a political ad out, you have to state if you used AI to develop the ad. Okay? You have to state that.
How would they know?
Well, that's kind of the point, right? And
you're going to put politicians on the honor system.
Oh,
okay.
Boy. Yeah. Well, and this is the thing, right? So you say that you didn't use AI, and there's this image that goes out, or this video that goes out that actually is very, very damaging. By the time it gets distributed, I mean, today I put a post out on our social media, and within a half hour, 50,000 people had seen it already, and on a political side, that's nothing. I mean, millions of people can see it in a half hour or whatever, right? The damage is already done, because even after it's seen, the odds of you seeing some type of disclaimer 2 hours from now saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was an AI generated image," or you get all this backlash that comes with it, most of those people will not see the disclaimer.
And that was my question on the impact side of things.
Yeah. So
the impactfulness and when things come out. So, because timing is a little bit of everything. So,
timing is everything.
But now you take a look at the way the voting system is, where people can mail in ballots or, start voting 2 months ahead.
Right.
If you're going to start doing deep fakes against where's the impact? Is it 2 months earlier, or is it a month, or
the ability to
election day, or the day before election?
All the above, right?
All the above, because the AI gives you the ability to saturate a platform
easily. You can program AI to do a lot of that work for you. It doesn't have to be that you have to manually post all this stuff either. I mean, there's plenty of programs out there that you can just go boom, whiz bang. And then once you're caught up with...
Is that an app?
The Whiz Bang app? Yeah. Should be one, right?
Really? Should be. Sounds like it should be.
If it's not, after we're done with the show today, I might look that up. I need a name for a new app anyway, so Whiz Bang would be good.
Whiz Bang. I like Whiz Bang.
I do too. That actually would work for this app I'm working on.
Perfect.
Whiz Bang.
Whiz Bang.
And somebody now has it. Whizbang.com.
We passed a lot of really good ideas along in the show.
We do. I just wonder, though, about this volunteering thing and how, and what are the ramifications? That we're going to cancel your account if you didn't divulge it?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I already live in Poland or I live in Nigeria. And somebody paid me from the United States to start an account on Facebook and gave me $50,000 to get a bunch of people to follow me, because you can kind of do that nowadays. You can buy a following if you want to. I mean, give away a car. Let's see what kind of following you get within a week. I'm just throwing that out there, right? And then all of a sudden you got 10 or 20,000 people, and then here comes this image along that you post up on there that then gets shared by 10,000, 20,000 people to their 2,000 people or followers or 500 friends or whatever, who then will share it again and again and again and again. And before you know it, you've had millions and millions of people see this image that is false.
It's like the old shampoo commercial, and they'll tell two friends and so on and so on. And because it's not about the initial impact as much as it's click shared. We think of things in just a little bit of word of mouth, spreading that word out. But with social media, that's entirely changed. And click share. Now, you could have AI, if you really wanted to get in, you could manipulate each share. You really could.
Now, so what do you trust? Where are you going to trust to get your information now?
MarloAnderson.com. Whizbang.com. That's just it. You can't. And I've been in media all my life. In mainstream media, it's not what it used to be. Print media, not what it's used to be.
I just wonder, though, Steve, with the deep fake scenario, if traditional media is not going to make a little bit of a comeback.
It should.
Because when you think about, not that everybody trusts traditional media either, but...
Well, no, it's eroded. That trust has been eroded over the last decade.
But if there's more trust than there is on what you're reading for social media, then odds are pretty good that people will start responding more to traditional media again.
Yeah, but I was reading it was on one of the morning news shows, and they were talking about where people get their news from. And 70-some% of young people, Gen Zers, get their news from TikTok.
Yeah.
I think it was 76%. What news do you get in a 30-second or less snippet?
That's not how they're getting their news on TikTok.
How is it?
It's live. There are so many people. There are so many people now that are using TikTok to stream live. It's unbelievable. And I've watched some of these things. There's a couple people in Las Vegas, for example, that show up in my TikTok feed. And I don't know why, with the exception that I spend a lot of time in Las Vegas. So I'm assuming that TikTok knows that because of whatever tracking they have on my phone. So then I get these feeds. And Vegas Polly is one of them. He's kind of got this New Jersey accent going on, and he's broadcasting live all the time.
Where the holes in the desert are.
It is kind of funny. I love this guy. He's really, and he's always reporting on news from Las Vegas, and he's always live. He's got these live concerts.
My problem with it. Okay, great. News from Las Vegas. Fiery car crash on the interstate. The interstate closed down. Well, go help somebody out of the car that's burning instead of taking the pictures of it.
There's that. But as far as political stuff goes, I mean, you could potentially have people that are at a rally, listening to and then they could watch the candidates like on TikTok or Facebook or whatever. But you just got to have some way to prove that it's live. But I think a deep fake live is still, it's not impossible, obviously, because there are all kinds of filters on TikTok now that you can put, the head of a horse on yourself or a cat or whatever, and as you're moving around. But it's pretty noticeable. I mean, if you move a little bit, it doesn't keep up with you. So we're not there yet as far as those technologies go. So that's how I see that with the news stuff. And I suppose that if you're getting something live like that, you're not going to get that live from any major network anymore. So TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, X, they're all going to play a role but I would trust that. That's what I would trust. And then you get to see and make the opinion for yourself and hear and make the opinion for yourself.
But that's not actual reporting. That's okay.
You're just seeing it live.
We're streaming a video of something happening live. Okay, but say it's a political rally. What's the backstory? Who's there from a candidate perspective, or why is this? In a little stream or a little snippet of a video, you're not going to get the backstory, the information you need to deem it what I would call news.
So you're missing the research, maybe that a reporter
credibility.
But there are some people that do that. I mean, I think about, and we have people around here that have gone to that. I'm thinking of a meteorologist out of Minot, North Dakota, who just recently retired and has moved to another town, but has continued to report the weather on his own media. I think he has a Facebook channel that he does it on. So I'm just using that as an example, and I don't know if he's monetizing that, but he's very credible, has been doing it for a long time, and has a wonderful following, which I'm sure the station that he worked with probably, I can't imagine would be very happy about what he's doing, because I'm sure he polled a lot of the people that watch him.
On their social media platform, they're embedding his feed.
So that's possible.
That's very possible.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Well, you just said a weatherman was credible, though. It's like they get paid to be right 50% of the time.
50%?
On a good day. But we love our weather.
Better, though.
We love our weather people.
It gives us something to talk about.
It does.
Did you hear this Friday we're going to have a blizzard?
We are?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It gives us, it does give us something to talk about, because we have nothing better to, I guess.
Well, incredible weather, guys.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at the deep fake, and I still have a problem with a 10-second snippet being news.
Well, it's not news. You just have to take it for what it is, a snippet.
Super Talk.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270.
You're tuned to Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. I'm Steve Bach, and Turkey Trot coming up on Thursday, and it's not too late to sign up. Pam Thompson with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. There's a little something for everybody, and this is a family event.
There is, and last year we started adding a little extra entertainment. While people do kind of want to get in and out of there, we don't try and waste anyone's time.
Dinner and football's waiting, but
right?
I got to make the turkey trot.
But we had a food truck with some mini donuts, because
who doesn't love mini donuts?
Who doesn't love mini donuts?
And they're warm.
Exactly.
And when it's cold, warm mini donuts. They're not just for the summer fairs,
right?
Yeah.
And they were delicious. I know my daughter decided she wanted mini donuts, and that was very important to her. She made sure she got there early, so she.
I might have had one or two last year.
They were quite good.
Bags.
Last year we added a photo booth over at the Elks. You can do some fun photos with your friends and family before the race, a little bit after the race. So we've added some of those fun. To make it more of an event and
well, actually, last year we did the before and after.
Sure.
Because we got there, did the before picture, and we all looked really good. And then the after we did, and my wife still looked good, and I looked like I was really disheveled because it was a tough walk. So
the dog pulled you the whole way?
Yeah. The before and after was kind of cool last year.
Right, yeah.
So we're coming up on a couple timelines. Mm-hmm. There's some benchmark dates because the turkey trot, of course, Thanksgiving morning, November 23rd, but registration. It's going on right now.
It's going on right now. All you have to do is go to cfand.org. And there's a spot right on the top of the website that says register for the turkey trot. Click through there. You'll get to our registration site. It's pretty straightforward. And then our prices are $27 for adults right now. And it will go up incrementally starting October 31st.
So October 31st is the first date that you need to get signed up before. So
right.
You're going to do this every year anyway, so why not get in early?
Right. The exception is that untimed fun walk, we keep that price steady the whole way through. Because we're not dealing with making sure we have timing chips for you. And
right, yeah.
It's a little less work on our end, and we like to keep that really accessible.
And I'm all about making less work for you, Pam.
Thank you.
I am all about making less work for you. So I will be there on the little fun walk with the dogs.
Right. And then I also say, it's a fundraiser, so you can either sign up now for a lower price or sign up the day of. That's great. It makes a little more money for us.
Or sign up now. And because it's easier for you to get everything organized, the earlier you sign up, the better off it is. So sign up now, and then donate the difference of if you signed up at the last minute.
Right.
Because that's the other thing, too. You can sign up at the last minute.
Oh, absolutely.
You can walk up to the door and go, hey, we've decided to run the turkey trot. We're here.
Yes.
Where do we go?
Yes. So you can sign up literally on your phone up until 9 o'clock on the day of the race.
Well, that's a cool thing with the app, too.
Yeah. So it's super easy.
Tell us a little bit about the app. So if people don't have that, to be able to go online and do it, because you just go on the website.
Yep, you'll just go onto the website. It'll get you right to our registration site. And then our timer who times the race is hooked right up into that.
Yeah.
So we don't have
It's
to
all integrated now.
Yeah, it's so easy and so nice.
So you can do everything on your phone, get signed up,
Yep. And then just come into the Elks and pick up your shirt and you're good to go, and your number.
Well, and then come back into the Elks afterwards.
Yeah. You want to get pictures.
You got a couple
of
vendors, pick up a banana, some water. You got some vendors that are helping out, that are handing out stuff, and just the camaraderie, because
it's super fun.
Yeah. Although my wife she's been waiting there for a while. By the time I get back from the walk, I don't know why. It's like, hey, I'm just enjoying the day.
Unless it's
so she's ready
below.
to go when I get back. It's like, maybe we should just drive separate.
Right. It's just a really good time, and everyone has fun.
Bismarck Mandan tradition. The turkey trot, one of those events. It's a benchmark of Thanksgiving and a benchmark of fall. It's not the season without it anymore.
Right. Well, and I just always love looking at the pictures afterwards, and everyone is always smiling. You never see a grumpy person.
The other cool thing in the pictures, too, there's a lot of people that dress up for this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of people who are a lot more creative than I am.
Costumes are very welcome.
Very welcome, and we love them. We think they're great fun. So, from just turkey hats, store-bought, homemade, whatever. We had a chef chasing a turkey. We've had pieces of pie. I think we had a pot of mashed potatoes once.
Oh, geez.
So, yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
People get really creative.
Right?
And going back and look at the pictures, because then everything gets posted up on the website as well. So
it is.
You can see all the fun. You can go pick out your family photos. And,
right.
And like I said, the photo booth, great addition as well. So, once again, deadline, there is no deadline for signing up in any capacity. You can go online and get signed up for the virtual side of this. So if you're not in town, you can still be part of Turkey Trot. But there are some benchmarks. October 31st, the first date that the prices do go up.
Right.
And this is a fundraiser.
It's a fundraiser.
But sign up early, because it makes life a little bit easier.
It makes everything easier for everyone. We can make sure we have enough things like T-shirts and whatnot.
I got to come by and take a look at that quilt.
Yeah, it's super cool.
The Turkey Trot quilt. All the T-shirts.
Again, people more talented than I am take care of these things. But
not in my purview. Pam, thanks for coming in today.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is great fun.
Pam. Turkey Trot coming up this Thursday. You can sign up the morning of the event if you'd like. And don't forget about the virtual side of that as well. This is Talk of the Town on Super Talk 1270. Tomorrow, Wattage Wednesday. Jason Spees and myself joining us for Talk of the Town, a Wattage Wednesday tomorrow. Y'all be safe. Have a great day.
KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the View Community Credit Union Studio.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.